everybody. I have two things in my hand. And what we're going to do today, we're going to compare and contrast them. When we compare and contrast something, what we're doing is we're going to tell what's the same about these two things, and we're going to tell what's different about these two things. Now, I like the way your hand went up, but let me ask you the question. Who can tell me something the same about these two things and what's different about these two things? And let's also remember our green rule. Raise your hand. Alasia, I like the way you raised your hand without yelling out. What can tell you what can you tell me the same or different about these?
That one is the orange and that one is the apple. So they not the same.
They're what?
They're vegetable. Fruit. Different.
The word she's trying to say is they're both what, Diane?
Different.
Say different. But I just heard you yell out something else about them both. What did you want to say, Justin? One is orange, kind of yellow, and the other one is what? Red. Is that same or different? Different. Very good. What did you want to say, Sophia? Tell me something the same. They're both fruit. Very good. What did you want to say, Ethan? You're right. You're right. One is an apple, one is an orange. Mariah, what do you want to say? I love the way you're raising your hand so patient. They're both fruit. What about the way they taste? Who can raise their hand?
Me.
I like the way your hand is raised, Eli, at a level 0. What do you want to say about the way they both taste? They both taste good. What did you want to say, Kevin? They're both sweet. Very good. Okay, so let's move on. What? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to read you a book. I want you to pay attention to the characters in this book. One of the person's name is Grace and the other person's name is Thomas. And what we're going to do with Grace and Thomas is we're going to compare them, okay? Just the way we compared the fruit. We're going to figure out things that's the same about Grace and Thomas and things that are different about Grace and Thomas. So pay attention as I read the book. Very nice. Say, Grace for President.
Grace for President.
One Monday morning in September, Mrs. Barrington wrote out a big poster, with all the president's pictures on it. Grace Campbell could not believe her eyes. Where are the girls? This is a poster of all the what? Their boy what? Presidents. And what did Grace say? Where are the girls? Good job. That is a very good question, said Mrs. Barrington. The truth is, our country has never used a president. No girl president ever? Grace asked. No, I'm afraid not, said Mrs. Barrington. Grace sat at her desk and stewed. No girls? Who ever heard of such a crazy thing? Finally, she raised her hand. Yes, Grace. I've been thinking it over and I'd like to be president. What did Grace say she'd like to be?
President!
President. You guys are really paying great attention. Several students in the class laughed. What did they do?
Laugh!
They laughed at Grace. They thought it was funny. But Mrs. Barrington said, I think that's a start star-spangled idea. We can have our own election right here at Woodson Wilson Elementary. The snickering in the room stopped. Grace smiled. Would anyone like to run for president? Mrs. Barrington asked the class. But nobody else raised their hand. So who's the only person that wants to run for president? Good job, Soraya. What's her name? Grace. Becoming president was going to be easy, Grace thought. The next day, Mrs. Barrington made an announcement. In the name of democracy, I have invited Mr. Waller's class to join our election. Their class was nominated Thomas Cobb to be their president candidate. This boy's name is Thomas Cobb. What's his name? How does he look? Proud, I heard someone say, and then I just heard a lot of you guys say happy. Why do you think he's happy or proud?
Because he was president.
Because he wants to be president. But who else wants to be president? Grace wants to be president. So how many people want to be president now? Two. I like the way you all are counting. One person, and then Grace makes two. Very good. Grace's heart sank. Thomas was the school spelling bee champion. And Thomas always took a ribbon at the science fair. And he was captain of the soccer team. Becoming president wasn't going to be too easy now. Why do you think Grace is a little scared? Because she said Thomas always does what? Well, she said he always is the spelling bee champion. That means he always wins the spelling bee. And she said he always takes a ribbon at the science fair. So that means he does really good at the science fair too, right? And she also said that he's the captain of the soccer team. That means he's always winning stuff. So she's a little what? How does her face look? Sad or even a little scared because she thinks he's going to do what? For the president, they got to run against each other. So she it's her against him. She think he's going to do what?
Win.
Good job, Sophia. Tell everybody.
Win.
She think he's going to win because he's always winning stuff. The teachers put the names of all 50 states and the District of Columbia in a hat. Everyone except for Grace and Thomas got to choose a state. I'm Texas, said Anthony. I'm New Hampshire, said Rose. I'm Michigan, said Robbie. What does the number 17 mean? Each state is assigned a number of electoral votes. The number is determined by how many people live in that state, said Mrs. Barrington. Each of you will be a representative for your state. Altogether, our country has 538 electoral votes. Mrs. Wallace explained on election day, the candidate who receives 270 electoral votes or more wins the election. Grace came up with a campaign slogan. Everybody look right here. This is her campaign slogan. Make history, vote Grace Campbell for president. Because she's the first girl. Thomas came up with his own slogan. Vote for Thomas Cobb, the best man for the job. Grace listened to what issues were important to the students, and she made a list of campaign promises. Thomas made up his own list of promises. Grace made campaign posters and buttons. Thomas made posters and buttons too. Each week, the teachers set aside time for the candidates to meet with their constituents. Polls were taken, voters were making their choices. Grace continued to campaign. What did Grace continue to do?
Campaign.
Campaign. That means she's speaking to all her friends because she wants to be president, so she's talking to them about all the good things she can do for them as president. And at recess, she gave speeches. So right here, instead of playing, she gave speeches on all the good things she would do as president, because she really wants them to pick her to be president. She really wants her friends to pick her to be what? President. President. And who else is trying to be president? What's that boy's name? Thomas. During lunch, she handed out free cupcakes. During lunch, she handed out what? Free cupcakes. She even handed out free cupcakes because she wants her friends to do what? Pick her to be what? President. You guys are really listening. After school, she held rallies. So she did a lot. Let's see what Thomas did. Meanwhile, Thomas wasn't worried. He had cleverly calculated that the boys had slightly more electoral votes than the girls. At recess, Thomas studied his spelling words. Is he talking to his friends about what a great president he'll be? No, he's doing what? He's reading and studying his spelling words. Then I see what he's doing here. During lunch, he worked on his latest science experiment. Is he working on the campaign? Is he telling his friends what a great job he's going to do as president? No, he's not. Let's see what he's doing down here. After school, he played soccer. Is he telling his friends what a great job he'll do as president right here? What is he doing? Playing soccer. So what do you think will happen? Who do you think will win, Grace or Thomas? I don't know. Let's continue to read and find out. Even before the election, Grace made good on her promises. She joined the safety squad, she organized a school beautification committee, and she volunteered her time in school cafeteria. In early November, Woodrow Wilson Elementary hosted a special election day assembly. Grace and Thomas took their places on stage as the school band began to play. Henry was the first representative to approach the microphone. He said, "The state of Alabama cast its 9 electoral votes for Thomas Cobb." Who did Alaska vote for? Thomas. Did they vote for Grace? No. Then Fletcher said, Alaska has 3 electoral votes for Thomas Cobb. Who did they just give their votes to?
Thomas Cobb.
Thomas Cobb. And so it went, state after state after state. They cast their electoral votes. The scoreboard in the gymnasium kept track of the totals. The voting demonstration was quickly coming to an end. Clara approached the podium. The Badger State of Wisconsin cast 10 votes for my best friend, Grace Campbell. Who did they vote for? Grace. Grace got 10 votes. So now let's look at the scoreboard. Thomas got 268 votes, and Grace got 267. There was only one state left to determine who was going to win, and it was Wyoming. Let's turn the page. Now remember, you guys said you think Grace was going to win. Let's see. Thomas grinned. Grace felt sad. Grace felt sick. Sam walked up to the microphone. He looked at Thomas. There's Thomas. And he looked at Grace. There's Grace. And Sam didn't say a word. Thomas whispered, "What are you waiting for?" The band stopped playing. All eyes were looking at Wyoming. Finally, Sam cleared his throat. The equality state of Wyoming cast its 3 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. So who won?
Grace Campbell.
The gymnasium erupted in loud cheers and a few boos. Mrs. Barrington approached the podium with 270 electoral votes. The winner is Grace Campbell. Thomas looked stunned. Grace hugged Sam. Why did you do it, she asked. Sam handed Grace his flag because he said, I thought you were the best person for the job. Sam said he thought that Grace was what?
The best girl ever.
You want me to read it again? He said, I voted for you because I thought you were the best person for the job. He thought she was what?
The best person for the job.
Or he thought she would do the best. Why do you think that he thought Grace would do the job better than Thomas? Raise your hand. Soraya. Let's think about some of the stuff they were doing. Here's Thomas. And here's Grace. Okay, on this side, we'll compare Grace with Thomas. Over here, we're going to talk about the things we see about Grace, and then we're going to talk about the things we know and see about Thomas. So, let's look at this. I want to ask you all a question. Why do you think that Grace was the better person for the job?
Because she won.
Because she really wanted to win? What made you say she really wanted to win? What's some of the stuff she did? Let's think about, I'm going to turn the page and see if it'll help you jog your memory. When you look at this page here, what's some of the stuff that Grace did? Sit on your phone.
Ask her friends because
What was she doing? She
asked her friends because she be president.
Elijah said she was asking her friends if she could be president. She held campaigns. She campaigned and she really worked on trying to be president, right? So we're going to say she talked to her friends. She talked to her classmates. That's something she did. Okay, so she talked with her classmates, really trying to be president. What is something else that she was doing? Like during recess, was she playing?
Yeah.
Did she play at recess?
Yeah.
Let's look at it. They said at recess she gave speeches. What was she doing at recess? What was her speeches about? What was her speeches about? And she was talking to her friends about what, Justin? About who remembers what she's trying to do? What is she trying to do? Be what?
She's trying to be president.
She's trying to be president. I need you to sit on your bottom though, because your friends can't see behind you, okay? She's trying to be president, so she's giving speeches about what a great what? Say president. She's giving speeches on what a great president she would be. So we're going to say she gave speeches. When you look, and then let's think about, so how, if she talked to her classmates about being a great president, I see your hand up, and she gave speeches about what a great president she would be, that means she worked hard at doing what? So now, what do you want to say, Mariah? She worked hard at doing what? Very good. She worked hard at trying to be president, right? So can I write she worked hard up here? She worked hard. Okay, now let's go ahead and turn. What you want to say, Sophia? right. She took her friends to an area and she talked to them about being president. So let's see. Let me get my friends to look right here. What did Thomas do?
Thomas was the winner.
Did Thomas win?
No.
Elijah, your friend said Thomas didn't win. What do you think, Elijah? Who won?
A girl.
What's her name?
Grace.
Grace. But when Thomas was was Thomas working real hard at trying to be president?
No.
What was he spending his time doing?
Play.
Playing. Can I write he played over here on Thomas' side? Okay, so let's put he played. What else did he do? Look at the picture. What else did he do?
Play soccer.
He played soccer. What else did he do?
He went to lunch. He went to lunch.
And right here, this is when he was doing his science project. But was he working on the campaign and trying to tell his friends what a great president he would be?
No.
Okay, so let's see. When we look at how Grace was, she talked to her classmates about being president. She gave speeches on how she would be a great president. And she worked hard at being a president. But Thomas played a lot. He played soccer. And then we also said he worked on his science project, right? But working on his project, was that working on trying to be president?
No.
No. So do you think that that's why Grace won? Because she did what? She did good. She worked harder, right? And let's compare them some more. When you look at Grace, look at her physical appearance, Alvin. Look at how she looks and look at how Thomas looks. Grace looks what?
Happy.
Does she look happy in this picture?
Yeah.
Is that a happy face? When you do like this? What is that a look of? You all saying she looked happy? Okay. She did look happy at one point. How does he look?
Happy.
He looks happy too, right? Okay, so was that the same or is it different? Happy and happy, is that the same?
Yeah.
Or is it different? What is it?
Happy.
Is happy and happy the same or is it different?
The same.
It's the same. Very good. Look at their clothes. Are their clothes the same or different?
No, they different.
What can you tell me that's different about them?
She got on white and he got on blue.
What do you say, Justin? What's different about them? When you look at them, what do you see that's different? Who can raise their hand and tell me something different? Ethan, I like the way you raised your hand. What if you tell me that's different about them? Good job. He said Grace has on red and he has on blue. So that's different. Okay. What else is different or the same about them, Diane? They're both happy, so that's the same. Very good. One more person. Eli, tell me something that's the same or different about Grace. Something different that we haven't talked about that's the same or different. They both have clothes on. Very good. What did you want to say, Sophia? Okay, and we said the clothes were different colors, and we said they were both happy. What else? One is a what? Mariah. One is a what? And this one is a what? We said happy. We've said that over and over. But Grace is a Who thinks they know what I'm thinking about? Justin, Grace is a what? A girl. And Thomas is a boy. Is that the same or is that different? Different. Give yourselves a hand. Okay, so we already just talked about, we just compared Grace with Thomas. So finally, what we're going to do now, we're going to do one more exercise to compare and contrast two things. This month we're doing a study on what, everybody? Who knows? We're doing a study on what? Good job. I like the way you said that. We're doing a study on what?
Buildings.
Buildings. These are both what?
Buildings.
Buildings. Let's look at these buildings. And when I ask you, I'm going to ask you something, and then when I'm done asking you, you'll be able to go play. Okay? Okay. Eli, can you tell me something that's the same or different about these buildings? Ethan, can you tell me something that's the same or different about these buildings? Good job. He said this building has words, but this building don't. Ethan, you can go to the block area. Good job, Ethan. Justin, I like the way your hand is up. What do you want to say that's same or different about these buildings?
That one has a window and that one has a window.
So would that be the same or different? That's the same. They both have windows. You can go to an area. Go with Miss Ebony. I like the way your hand is up, Kevin. What do you want to tell me that's the same, or you can say something different about these buildings? Say it again. What did you say? Which one? And okay. And the other one? Okay, you can go play. Thank you, Kevin. What did you want to say, Sophia? So are you saying is that the same or is it different? Okay, what did you want to say, Elijah?
That one, they both got windows.
Okay, what else? Tell me something different.
That window got no. That window got no garden, and that one do.
Good job. So you were able to tell me something different and the same. You can go play. Thank you, Elijah. What did you want to say, Mariah?
He got both windows.
And what else? Is it anything else the same or different about them?
He got both doors.
They both got doors. Very good. Thank you, Mariah. You can go. Diane, what did you want to say?
This one has letters, and that one, and it still has one star.
Very good. Is there anything else you want to say about the buildings? Is that it? That's fine. You can go. Thank you. So now what did you want to say? I love it. She said this one is little and this one is bigger. Good job, Sana. You can go. Thank you. Okay, what did you want to say?
They both got glass.
They both have glass. That was a great thing to notice. So is that the same or is it different?
Same.
That is the same, that they both have glass. Very good, Sharonda. You can go. I see your hand up. So patient, Jakai. What do you want to say?
One has stairs and one door.
Very good. Jakai said one has stairs and one does not.